what we're going to do next, keeping your problems in mind, I want us to think about the different types of problems here. We have add to problems where the result is unknown. Sometimes the change is unknown, and sometimes the start will be unknown. We won't know what we're starting with. Sometimes they'll give us what we're starting with, and we won't know, then the result will be unknown. And then with our take from problems, the result will be unknown, the change could be unknown, or the start could be unknown. And then when you're put together and take apart problems, your total may be unknown, both your add-ins may be unknown, or your add-in, one of your add-ins may be unknown. And then there's comparing. We may compare as the difference may be unknown, the bigger may be unknown, or the smaller may be unknown. Let's move right into that CSA work mat, and let's talk about it just a little bit. You did see that used in the video with Split the Pot, and you've seen us use it many times before. This is something that we created, Stephanie and I created together, for us to just put a space for every part of the CSA instructional model. A space where they could do the concrete, a space where they could actually draw what they have built. And then when they're ready, a space for that abstract, to link all three of them together. Now we have this in a larger format, or we have it in a smaller format for the kids, because sometimes they need just a little more space. I would suggest putting those in sheet protectors and giving those kids dry erase markers and letting them go to town with it, because this will ensure that they're doing all three models, all three steps whenever they get to that point when they're ready. If they're not ready for the abstract, then obviously you stop at the concrete, semi-concrete. If they're only ready for the concrete, they can stop right there, but they can still use this mat to see where they're going, what our goal is.
You know, also, I was thinking about reaching our students like in those RTI groups and the small group as a classroom teacher, not necessarily just being a math intervention teacher. But if we use this regularly and our students know, then maybe a center activity could be revolved around, you know, using this work, and it would be based on whichever area they were ready for on that mat at the time.
Yes, perfect. That's perfect. Yes, this is something else that's just so versatile. It can be used to meet the kids wherever they're at. Whatever number they're working on, whatever type of problem they need to work on, absolutely, it could be used. This should be a staple that's in any station, in my opinion. It's something that you could pull out and use it many different ways. Yes, thank you. First of all, let's talk about what type of problem this is. We just finished talking about types of problems. Anyone want to take a jab at it? What do you think? What kind of problem? Would it be a start unknown, a change unknown, or the result unknown?
Change unknown.
Change unknown. We know the start, don't we? We're starting with 9. So I have 9 cubes, which are representing my cars. And the OCD in me will not let me just throw them up here. Plus it just helps to visualize it if I've got them up there, that there's 9 that way. And then we get some more. We just don't know how many more. But we know in the end, we're going to have 12 altogether. So we got 9, so we could just count on 10, 11, 12. Right? And then in order to do the semi-concrete with that, then I would model my 9. And I always tell my kids, this is not art class. It doesn't have to be perfect, because you'll have some of those little budding artists that will want to spend forever recreating. This is just a quick snapshot, a quick drawing of what we've done, what our thinking was. And then I'm going to put my 3 that I added on. I want to color them in to show the difference. And you may have to model that for your kids some so they can get an idea of what you're expecting of them. Okay? And then, of course, moving on to that abstract with our symbolic, we started with 9. We added some more. We didn't know how many more, but we added some more, and we knew that we were going to have 12 when we were finished. What am I introducing to them there?
That's a real good way to introduce the algebra concept.
Yep. It's a simple problem, but it's algebra. That missing add-in is algebra.
I also want to say, Vonda, it's real important for us as teachers to go ahead and put things in order the way you did. I know you said it was OCD, but for our kids, that's just organization. And for our kids who are special needs, they don't understand organization as well as what we think they do. And so when we start showing them how to organize, it's very important for our kids because they start to mimic us, which is great. And then they build on their own organization that way.
True. So true. Yeah. That's what I was saying about whenever earlier about the counting. When I'd have my kids the counting, I would model for them because they would just try to count it as a big mess. In my mind, it was just a mess trying to keep count. But yes, you're right, Stephanie. Modeling, you know, like I said, it is part of my OCD, but it does help me to see it, and it helps me to cope with the problem.